Hey folks, Marty Nowicki, IMPACTSNAP. Today's video, we're going to help you try and sort through. Are you an arm swinger? Are you a body swinger? One plane, two plane, stack and tilt, rotary. Which system or method might work best for you? And we're going to sort through that, make you a better golfer. So let's get some definitions on the table. When we look at one plane or two plane, basically in Jim Hardy's book called The Plain Truth for Golfers, he talked about the shoulders and the arm being on two planes. That makes you a two-plane player, which basically means you're going to also be more of an arms swinger. When the shoulders and the arm get on the same plane, that makes it much easier for you to become a body swinger or body turner, rotary, what have you. There'll be much more emphasis on what the body is doing. Players that would be, two plane might be a Davis Love, a Tom Watson. Players that are one plane, historically Ben Hogan is like the icon of one planers because his left arm would get rather low. George Knudson, plenty of good ball hitters that do either one, but note that there are certain rules that accommodate each style of swing. When it comes to what's called stack and tilt is simply a simple system of a little more pressure left, a little more lean left, a left shoulder that's a little lower, which accommodates a left arm that goes a little more around. And that in and of itself might be a great system for your wedges. Leaning too far to the left may not or won't accommodate a driver very well. With any of the styles that you employ, and in order to be a good golfer, you might need to employ 4 or 5 or even 6 types of swings, because a draw swing is going to be different than a fade swing, a high ball is going to be different than a low ball, a wedge is going to be different than a driver, a 7-iron is going to be different than a bunker shot. So there are a lot of different styles or things that you're going to need to include in order to become a good golfer. But what I like to start with, based on where you are in your game, is let's get you competent at hitting a 60 or 80 yard wedge shot over and over. And kind of the system that I employ with my students that makes that the easiest is a little more stack and tilt, which is a little more lean left. So I've got about 60-40. I've got a spine that's leaning a little bit forward. That allows my left shoulder to go down easier. My legs, pelvis, they will turn so that I can support what I like to call my radius. But I'm not turning it with such vigor or force as I was going to, throw a knockout uppercut. That's something I'm going to save more for my driver. When you're dealing with wedges, it's important to have the control of 60 yards, 80 yards, 100 yards, 120. And if I've got a 100-yard shot, I may not need or want really a full big uppercut type of swing. I want a controlled turning pelvis and legs so that I can accommodate that nice full radius through impact. As we get to more of a driver or a big club swing, and I want to hit it farther and farther, that's when I'm going to look for more and more body turn, more and more leg, pelvis, chest turn from front to back. I personally like seeing my players a little more one plane than two plane. I think there's a little less timing involved. That being said, some people who have either bigger shoulders or just a tiny bit of lack of flexibility, their arms tend to go up a little higher. That would make them more of an arms dominant swinger, which there's just a little more timing involved. From a body or a rotational type of player, I'm looking for, again, left arm about parallel to the shoulder line. I'm looking for leg turn to about almost 30 degrees to 45 degrees right before impact. That way I can get maximum speed when I'm hitting, say, a full 6-iron or even a driver. Two different types of turn. I've got one turn simply so that my arms stay intact. If I go through impact and my knees and my pelvis are not turning, my arms are going to start to collapse. So I need some amount of turn simply to maintain that radius. That's important because that helps me to control the bottom of the swing and it helps me to control distances. When I have an 80-yard shot, I don't like swinging full unless that situation warrants itself, i.e. very firm greens, pin right up front, tucked over a bunker. Now I might have to change something to launch it super high and try and stop it sooner. But basically my stock shot or the stock shots of my players, 80 yards is going to be about chest high with a little turn, full radius. Makes it way easier for you to control your distances. Pay attention to the trajectory that you're hitting it. If my arm is at 0 degrees and that's at 90 degrees, most wedges, that being 45, most wedges we're looking at about 30 degrees of launch with all your wedges. If you're seeing on a monitor that you're launching it higher than that, well, we better work on getting that flight pattern down. Another simple way of measuring 30 degrees, if 12 noon is right here on a clock, 1 o'clock would be 30 degrees. Okay, so pay attention to 12 noon, 1 o'clock, I'll turn that sideways, boom, there's your 30-degree launch. That's really what we want to see with all your wedges, 30 or less for your standard stock shot. As I need to hit it further, two things, I'm going to start adding a little more turn. I'm going to start adding a little more ground pressure into, more flex of the knees, more lowering of the torso. That increases the pressure into the ground so that I can push off and turn, getting getting the power that I'm wanting for particular shots. So if I'm hitting a full 6-iron or even a driver, I might have a little more downward move. I might have a little more vigorous push off and turn when I hit something. As it comes to a driver versus a wedge, we're looking at wedges, I'm tilting toward the target a little bit. Drivers, I'm tilting a little more away from the target. Wedges, because they're a shorter club, I'm going to be more prone to be bent over more. Drivers, I'm going to be, because it's a longer club, I'm going to be standing a hair taller. Rate of turn and the arm going across my shoulders, for me, that's going to be constant. If I'm tilted over more, I'm going to expect to see a lower left shoulder. If I'm standing taller, when I turn, I'm going to expect to see more level shoulders. They'll never be perfectly level. We would never want that. So that being said, and I know this might sound like a lot of information, this is why it's important for you to sort through what club you're hitting, what situation are you in, what do we need to have happen, because sometimes we want turn simply to maintain a radius, sometimes we want turn so that we can really smash the heck out of something. So pay attention to what you're getting. If you have the opportunity to use some form of launch monitor, whether it be outdoors or indoors, pay attention to launching conditions and really get good at your distance controls. For IMPACTSNAP, I'm Marty Nowicki. Thanks for watching. I've got a lot of other videos out there. Some I'm going to try and link to this video just to help you classify what are you trying to accomplish with what part of your game. So thanks for watching. Leave your comments down below. Hit the like button, subscribe, share this video with like-minded golfers. And again, for IMPACTSNAP, Marty Nowicki, thanks for watching.